All right, gentlemen, we're very excited to welcome our guest to the show because he's had a fantastic couple of weeks in IndyCar. Former Formula One driver, IndyCar driver, Marcus Ericsson. Marcus, welcome to Speed City.
Thank you very much.
Hey, welcome back. It's been a while.
Right. Yeah, it has.
Well, if you keep doing what you just did last week, you get a reserved parking spot here. So try again.
Yeah, so expect me for every week then. That's my plan.
That's the spirit. And congratulations on that victory, Marcus. I know they're hard earned around Belle Isle.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was it was a long time coming for some reason. It's been obviously I did 5 years of F1 in cars that didn't have the chance to fight for a win, and then coming here to IndyCar, that was one of the big things, to get that first win in a top tire series, and to get that in Detroit there was very special.
I'll bet. And we've been chatting before you came on about this idea that Formula One wants to double up on races, doing back-to-backs to try to make sure they get enough races in. That's not unusual in the IndyCar series that you race in now. How do you find that? And with the benefit of your Formula One experience, is that something that Formula One can legitimately do? I know they already do it in Austria, but what's it like running back-to-back at the same racetrack?
Yeah, I've generally been a fan of it because I think it's, the more races, the better in general. But I gotta say, after I won that race on Saturday, to sort of regroup and do the race the day after already was a pretty difficult challenge. I was buzzing so much after that win, so I couldn't almost sleep that night. So it was a bit tricky, but in general, I think it's good because in the end of the day, all of us drivers, but also fans and everyone, we want to see races and racing. That's what's the most fun. And if we can have 2 races in a weekend, I think it should be more fun for drivers and fans and everyone. So I'm generally for it.
How is it different for you as a driver on those doubleheader weekends?
Yeah, it's, you need to take care maybe a little bit more of your race car because, it's 2 races. So you don't want to completely crash your race car on race 1. Not that you want that any time, but it's even more in a double header. And then just the physical and mental aspect of it, to have 2 race days, it's really tough because you put so much into it in preparation and focus and all that. So I think that's the biggest thing. Like after last weekend, I was really tired and mainly my head because it's so much mental sort of focus and preparation that goes into a race for us drivers.
Marcus, the next morning after the race, watching you get it ready, your smile, you could not wipe it off your face. And I was thinking, how is he going to concentrate for this second race? Because he is so excited. You could just see it on your face.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was a bit strange for me because I'd gone almost 8 years since I won my last race in GP2 or Formula 2, which is called now, and to get that win there in Detroit was just such a relief, and I was so happy about that. So it was definitely a bit strange to refocus that race too, but still, I think I did a really good race there. We had a problem in qualifying, so we qualified in 22nd, but to go all the way up to the top 10, just did that was a great race there on day 2 as well.
That is one element that I love about IndyCar is just that 22nd to first. Yeah. When would you ever see that in Formula One in that drastic of a lineup in a starting grid? It's that's one of the elements that I want to see somehow get infused into Formula One is that type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, this new rules are coming in F1. Hopefully that will help the field to sort of get closer together, but we'll see. I think this year has still been very cool in F1 to see the midfield fight, how close it is between all the teams in the midfield, and even with Red Bull and Mercedes battling out up front. I think it's been one of the best F1 seasons in a long time so far. So but yeah, that's the cool thing with IndyCar. Like I say, in IndyCar you can be P1 one day and P22 the next one, and without any real issues. It's when you don't get everything right, that's the swings it can take, and obviously F1 is not as much like that. But yeah, so far this year it's still been great to watch F1, I think.
Marcus, it looks like they've upgraded after a win. They've upgraded your accommodation because it looks like you're sitting in a giant velvet chair ensconced with the curtains around you. You're doing good there.
It's the Ganassi team throne.
Exactly. Life is good.
Now here's a really important question. So remember when we had Chip Ganassi on, and he had just taken delivery of the new NSX, and he said, I haven't really got to drive it yet because I've been gone so much. Are you like keeping his car running? Did you get an NSX? What came of that?
No, I haven't heard anything about that. So I need to check up on what's going on there.
Marcus, you are, I believe, the senior former Formula One driver in IndyCar right now. How much do you hear from your former colleagues in F1 about what IndyCar is like? I mean, we're seeing more and more talented drivers like yourself coming over from F1 and for all intents and purposes, looking like they're really enjoying the change. What do you hear from F1 guys about IndyCar?
Yeah, so I think it's more and more talk and more interest from Europe and from F1 in general about IndyCar. I think the IndyCar series is definitely gained a lot of traction the last couple of years, and I think it all started with Fernando when he did his his first 500, and then I came over, and Romain came over this year. Now Kevin races this weekend. All these things just makes more focus on it, and then I think as soon as someone watches an IndyCar race or something like that, you get hooked to it because it's so good racing. It's so entertaining, and so many good drivers and teams. So I think it's definitely getting more and more. And I speak to some of the drivers in F1 like Ricciardo and Leclerc. It's two good friends of mine, and they also follow and sort of are interested in it. So I definitely feel like IndyCar is heading in the right direction at the moment, and I wouldn't be surprised to see more drivers from F1 in Europe heading over this way.
Oh man, that'd be fun.
And I see it's funny, even between the series, because you remember when Roger Penske did the announcement that he was buying the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and everything, that he talked about Formula One coming there. And then last weekend or a couple of weeks ago when we had the Indy 500, Formula One was tweeting congratulations to everybody, and I just see more and more communication between the series. And I think they probably realize it's probably good for both of them.
I think that is a very good point. I think, and I think an important point, because I see when I came over here, it was a lot to talk about, IndyCar or F1, and what is better, what is worse, which one is the best, which one do you like the most. And I think I like to see it the way you said. It's two great series that have different types of racing, but in the same time, it's I think they help each other, to build interest. The better the F1 racing is, the better IndyCar is, and the other way around. So I think we need to see it that way, that we have two world-class series going on, and it's just great for racing and for racing fans and for the sport, and to have two strong top tire series like that, it's just going to be good for everyone.
Yeah, we've got Go ahead, Bob.
Well, I was going to say, we know about the drivers now. How about on the fan side? For example, what was the reaction to your Detroit win back home?
It was great. I've a big following from Sweden since my F1 days, really, and that was a cool thing when I came here to IndyCar. I didn't know are they gonna follow me in IndyCar or not, but I just feel like it's been growing even more, my fan base, when I came over here to IndyCar, and all these Swedish fans that didn't really know much about IndyCar, they now love IndyCar. They can watch it live on TV in Sweden, so there's a lot of people watching us race, and that win was huge. I got a lot of messages, and then a lot of media attention in Sweden, but also all the fans were very excited, and even this weekend, I've seen so many Marcus Ericsson caps and stuff like that on the racetrack that I'm not used to. So yeah, it's been very cool.
Well, I know we just have you for a little bit longer, but are you? How is this weekend going for you? Getting prepped and everything for today?
Yeah, I think we've had a bit tougher weekend. We have tried some things on the cars and sort of gone back and forward a bit, and I thought my car felt pretty good for qualifying, but I just didn't get the most out of it, I think. So disappointed to qualify back in 18th. But like we talked about earlier, in this series, you can finish pretty much anywhere from anywhere on the grid. So I'm still hopeful. I think we had a good warm up where we were one of the fastest cars. So and Road America you can overtake on, and I think also the tire wear has been pretty high this weekend. So that's going to play a big part. And then there is some rain on the radar that might come in to mix things up. So I'm excited. You know, it's all to play for, and you know the races in the car is always long, and a lot of things can happen. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a strong race and a good climb through the field.
Hey, before we let you go, I do have to talk. You were talking about your fans and everything. When you won on social media, I saw people, everybody getting emotional. I think when someone does go, especially when you switch series like that and you get that first win, it's an emotional thing for you, but it's also for your fans. I mean, I saw people just so happy and excited for that. I mean, that's got to make you feel great.
Yeah, I know for sure. It was really cool to see. You know, I was very emotional, but yeah, like you said, it feels like all these people that's been following me throughout my career and know how hard I've been working to get there. And you know, I've been through a lot of tough days and sort of things that hasn't gone my way, and to finally get that win, it was very emotional for me. But like you say, you know, I could feel that from, or see and read from all my fans how much it meant to them as well, and it was very nice to see that that they are sort of with me in this. So that was very special.
That is so cool.
Marcus,
who doesn't
Ericsson?
like Marcus anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I hate him because of his great hair, but so what?
All right, Marcus Ericsson, thank you very much for coming on Speed City, and best of luck this weekend and the rest of the season.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.
Great to
All
see
right,
you.
you
Take
too.
care, buddy.